So Namaskar and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second seminar of today. We are having this first ever virtual IFJAS organized by EPCH, that is the Export Promotion Council for Handicrafts. It's only in our darkest of hours that we discover the true strength of the brilliant light. COVID-19 pandemic has shaken the world. It has penetrated into each domain of our lives, but it cannot stop us. Life has to find its way with or without COVID. EPCH is adapting to the new change, to the new environment, and with great resolve is charting out a new strategy to help out the handicrafts fraternity. We are very delighted to have with us different participants. We also have with us Shri R.K. Malhotra ji. He is the Vice Chairman EPCH. Welcome, sir. He's a leading exporter of handicrafts and is in exports of handicrafts for the last more than 30 years. We also have with us Shri Vineet Bhatia. He's the President of IFJAS. Welcome, Vineet ji, again. He's been running fashion jewelry manufacturing unit by the name of Beats Kingdom, and he's associated with fashion industry since 1997. He did his post-graduation in international business from Ford School of Management and has been associated with EPCH for, again, many, many years. Welcome, sir, and welcome, Nupur. Nupur Batra is the Vice President of IFJAS. Founder, designer, craft-based label Ananya, accessories by Nupur. She's been in the business and doing phenomenally well for herself and helping out EPCH, supporting EPCH all the way. We would also be joining in later by Mr. Ravi Pasi, Chairman EPCH. I don't see him here right now. We also have with us Mr. Anshul Gola. He's the Vice President of IFJAS. And ever since its inception in Jaipur, he's been the part of Medallion, a leading manufacturer, wholesaler, and exporter of silver and fashion jewelry across the globe. They have been exporting. And of course, helming this session will be Mr. Parashar. We have Mr. Lokesh Parashar with us. Let me just briefly introduce him. He's been running a New York-based buying house to service overseas customers. During these 22 years in international market, he worked closely with almost all kinds of importing companies. Giving back to the industry, he's passionately building the Federation of Buying Agents, has the mission of adding more than 4,500 buying agents in different industries. Also runs a meetup group of export and import professionals in Delhi and Mumbai, having 3,000 plus members ranging from experienced professionals, startups, designers, logistics, quality, individuals, etc. He holds regular meetings and workshops to educate the group over various topics in export-import businesses. He mentors half a dozen professionals to kickstart their business and works with a few socially relevant organizations for upliftment of deprived class. And today, he'll be conducting this session and he'll be throwing light on cargo damages and on payment defaults by customers and how to tackle them. Yes, I can see Mr. Ravi Pasi, Chairman EPCH, who has just joined in. Welcome, sir. Mr. Ravi Pasi, Chairman EPCH. He's also served as co-chairman of National Center of Design and Product Development, New Delhi, and has been in the business of export of handicrafts for more than 30 years. Sir, to begin with, I would request you to start off this session by welcoming everyone or by saying just a few words, and then I can request Mr. Parashar for his talk.
You're talking to me?
Yes.
Okay, I just joined because I was busy with Mr. Verma. So, and
So if you can just say a few words in the beginning.
okay, I welcome everybody during this Corona period, COVID, and I'm happy that this subject is on. I think on some buying agents and others and logistics system is welcome. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anji, welcome, sir, and please help our exporter also during this COVID time to contact your importers to see our virtual fairs that are coming. I think within 2 months, 3 fairs.
Yes.
One is going to finish tomorrow, and another one is coming on 15th to I think 18th or 19th of Jan. That is for home finishing and garments and all that. So all the best. And if you have any question, please ask me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pasi. And over to Mr. Lokesh Parashar now.
Okay, ji.
So thank you, Mridu. Thank you, Pasi ji. Thank you, Mr. Malhotra ji. Nupur, hi, how are you? Rajesh ji, thank you very much. Manish and Anshul, as well as Vineet Bhatia. It's a pleasure coming on EPSET platform today and talking about the most challenging thing we face. One is something which doesn't come often, but when it comes, it hits all of us, including the customers. And that is cargo damages, which is primarily not the fault from the factory side or from the buying agent side or from the buyer side. It is mismanagement and mishandling from the carriers, and since they are huge in their, I would say, capacity, they monopolize the entire industry, and even your freight forwarders or your insurance companies, sometimes they're not able to help you. And that is where we brought this concept to our fraternity as well, that how do we manage this problem? Because statistically, we look at the cargo damage solutions, out of 10 claims, they would not even entertain 8 of them. It's like going on deaf ears, no communication, no replies. Out of 2, they would be hardly addressing only 1. And from that also, if your claim is for 100 rupees, they will pay you maybe 10, 15 rupees. So it's like peanuts for them giving back. The only recourse left with you is maybe some insurance on your, and talking about buyers as well as the freight which goes CIF. And I'm talking about full container load right now. I'm not going into air freights or LCLs. So the $20,000 to $50,000 of sweet spot, which they claim that anybody can absorb a loss, freight forwarder can absorb because they can't fight with shipping lines. They are the, I would say, customers, and they can't be, I would say, arguing with their own gods. And exporters or buyers, they just absorb the losses primarily because it's a huge pain to get that money out, and then you all want to do business. So we're going to talk about this part one. And secondly, the most important and challenging part we have as of now, currently today as well. And previously also we had disputes with the customers when they were not paying. For cancelled orders or for any miscommunication or any quality claims, they, which we call a false claim. A genuine claim is genuine claim. We're not talking about genuine claims. But as we all are experienced here, 20 plus experience, I can see with the Nupurji, Raviji, and Malhotraji, we have seen in our life that there are many buyers who actually put up a false claim. And that is where, or even they went bankrupt, or they just did not pay. At the federation also, we had certain cases where service fee of the buying agent was not paid by the exporter, by the buyer. And that is where we brought in a system where the person who has to pay, it's a money which is owed to India. It's a dollar earned by hard work of an exporter, whether he's a service exporter like buying agent or a product exporter. So they have to pay if they are liable to be paid for that goods or services. So I'm going to share my screen now. I'll give you the presentation, and then we will open the forum for question answers. I'll give you a brief introduction of Federation of Buying Agents. 2014, the talk were happening between many buying agents that we should have some association, we should have a gathering, a lot of exporter associations are there, councils are there. It started to materialize by 2016, and by 2018 December, we formed the Federation of Buying Agents. We chose the federation as a name because we're not looking at only India as our community, we're looking at even the collaborations and a community of buying agents who are in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, China, Vietnam, Indonesia. Primarily, wherever you find this community, they should be part of us, or their association should be part of us. So the journey is very long. We just began. Let me give you a perspective. Many of you might be participants who are not knowing what exactly are buying agents. We are the business ambassadors for anything which we are doing in terms of serving the customer. Benefit to the exporter is of course a business, but let me tell you, we are not here to actually earn anything from the exporter side. We are paid by the customer to serve them. So every buying agent is a helping hand for the buyer in his quest for better sources and efficient supply chain. We work hard to make sure buyers' interests are protected at all times. So when you say buying agent, it's internationally it is a norm to call a buying agent, but in India, I would say there is a fallacy of that nomenclature. Just like somebody named Ram is not a Ram god. So we are a buying agent. We are service providers who are not intermediaries. We do not make money when the deal is done, or somebody is giving you a PO and I walk away with my money. Our money is hard earned with a bouquet of services given to the customer, whether it's factory sourcing, whether it's product sourcing, it's development, production management, logistics, coordinating among the factory and the buyer. So there are huge amount of services which are provided, and we get paid once everything is now shipped and with the customer. A prime role as a buying agent is the eyes and ears for the buyers and ensure efficiency and economics of scale are managed well. I still remember when I was in one of the Moradabad factories, and his father and son were there in the room, and son was just entering the business, and his father said a very, very wise word that a buying agent, when he's coming to your office, please treat them as your own team member, not paid by you. Because there could be certain things in production which we might oversee. But they have a third angle. They're here to protect us if any loss which might happen in the production. Ultimately, buyer or the product has to be 100% in quality and 100% in time to be shipped. Maybe some price issue would be there. So always take this service, which is a free service to you, to see that they are making us efficient. The more we sell, the more better we sell, the more good product we ship, the more business we have. And I really appreciated this gentleman's view that how you actually have somebody behind you as, like, I would say, not to equate with Krishna, but yes, somebody who will be making sure to earn their money, we're making sure that your goods are not damaged, your goods, your quality, your price, your delivery is not mismanaged, so that the customer is happy, you're happy, and we get more business. So when we do this part, there are certain things which create us as business ambassadors. And many times we have actually felt this, that once we are pitching for our business with the buyers, whether in their meeting rooms, whether at trade fairs, whether they are coming to India, or we're just talking to them over phone or email, we are creating a potential audience and customer for the manufacturers, for the exporters. As you all know, buying agent is not a producer. He's only going to serve a customer, but where the service is going to be, the service is only going to be when he actually gives an order. An order will be definitely going to some exporter. So when we are creating a business for us, which might be 5% or maybe 7, 10%, 15% of the service charge, but it's of the 100% of the order which is coming to a factory. So what we are creating is an audience for 15 to 20% of business coming to a factory. And that is how the biggest challenge, or I would say the biggest strength a buying unit will have, is engagement with their manufacturers. They should know that what they have. I think they have, there is some mistake in my presentation. It's all the same thing, but I would say engagement advocate. So when we are engaging with factories, we are primarily talking about how we are getting to know our factories, who is making what, and what kind of buyer will be suitable for him, and for a buyer, what kind of factory will be suitable for him. We advocate the Make in India and Made in India. When we are in the room with the customers and we are talking about business, we want them to be on board. If we want to have a service contract signed with them, primarily the questions are why India? And as and many exporters will be relating to the subject, the first question a customer has when they are coming to India is, why should I buy from here? What is so unique in India that I cannot go to any other sourcing country? And that's exactly what we do. We do only via talking. We do not have the product to show. We do not have a showroom to show. But based on our trust, based on our capabilities, and whatever as a statement we are giving to the buyer, we do that part. And that is how there's a whole ecosystem which goes behind that. When we are bringing business, the business is coming to India. It is make in India and made in India. I would say is the biggest brand ambassador we can have is a buying agent. Other thing is a buying agent does is, as a service exporter, maybe handicraft exporter will be selling some handicraft, silk exporter will some certain silk products or handloom. A buying agent does, and he gives services to a plethora of manufacturers. So when we are talking in bringing in a customer, we are not talking about one council or specific exporters. We are bringing business to many segment and industries. In a way, we influence the mindset of the retailer, the mindset of the buyer, and we become a very strong influencer of bringing them to India. As you have all been working together, the major impact we have in India is, the major challenge we have in India is, there are so much of myth, and I would say wrong feelings about, or sometimes yes, sometimes true also, but our goal is to bring them back to India. Our goal is to bring new people to India. And that is how we say we impact the entire ecosystem of manufacturing in India. We definitely make sure that if the customer is buying from India, he is coming to some factory, he's coming to some manufacturers. Talking about what is FBA, we work on primarily as our members are buying agents. So we work with growth, grievances, and generating business for buying agents. We make sure that the buying agent, when they're working as buying agents, they have the right tools, the contracts with the customers, the contracts they should have with the factories. Their employees have to be protected, or the company has to be protected by because our industry is a very robust and a very fluid industry. And I would not disclaim it, but yes, 30 to 40% of buying agencies actually start operating from employees only. So we also make sure that how do you protect your business, and also how do you create new buying agents. There has to be a very fine line and a very transparent deal when you are actually coming out of your job and you are now trying to do something on your own. That's good thing, because when you grow, you'll definitely grow the business in India. So we make sure that we have the right tools. We are doing a lot of skill development. We have a lot of corner meetings happening with buying agents. So much of knowledge is shared, practical knowledge, or I would say advice is given among the buying agents and how we grow this business. And all the tools are available with the federation when you become a buying agent member. As I said, grievances today, as our main topic is there will be grievances. There will be grievances communication, there will be grievances on order management, there will be grievances from the buyer side or from the factory side, or even the buying agent might be a difficult part to manage. But grievances should not stop the business to come to India and to the factories, or the buyer should not sway it away because of any mistake, whether it's a mistake of buying agent or it's a mistake by the factory. Or whether it's the problem of the buyer also, we have to understand that this is something which came from you. So we make sure that there is a win-win situation in the grievance. The guilty party has to now come back in the room, and there has to be somewhere a positive attitude created where losses are mitigated and business carries on. And we are also generating a lot of business opportunities for buying agents. I can claim that part with authority that Federation is the only association, I would say, among the buying agents who have created collaborations happening between the buying agents, which is very much common. I've seen in a lot of other industries, a lot of other exporters, a lot of other associations. And even in local market, when you see there is a lot of wholesale market, you see collaborations happening, somebody buying a product from somebody else and then they're giving it to the other clients. That has not been there with the buying agent business. I would say primarily because we are service providers, we brand ourselves, we sell ourselves to the customer. And when we sell ourselves to the customer, we do not think of the others. And that has been the biggest wall we have able to break, that now we are communities, we are 50 to 60, 70 buying agents in one room talking to each other regarding business, regarding how we can work together or helping each other. Never ever in the history, I can say, somebody can come and challenge me as well. It has happened before. Consistently, yes, there were some something started, but it just fizzled out. So this is the structure we are creating. The corner meetings, the monthly meeting we have, which is now converted into a daily webinar. which is primarily 60 to 70% of the people in that room are buying agents. And those daily webinars are also open to exporters. I'll be bringing that part later on. Now, today's topic, recoup your losses. We'll talk about first the cargo damages. As I told you, when you are troubled by losses or cargo damages, which could be primarily a problem created by a shipping line, it is usually not addressed by anyone. And everybody says, oh, you should have an insurance and you should go and take it from your insurance company. But let me tell you, in legal terms, even if you have an insurance or you did not have insurance, that doesn't stop you to hold the shipping line liable. The biggest myth I can break today is, if somebody has done a crime, that doesn't mean that only police is going to be there, only judge can, I would say they can do it. But they are liable as carriers. But somewhere in the fine line of documentation or processes, nobody looks at the papers, nobody looks at the legal terms. And that is where we have those maritime lawyers who are with us, who have made us understand that primarily the shipping line is the one who has to pay the claim, irrespective whether you have an insurance or you do not have an insurance. And the other topic we're talking about is international buyer not paying or defaults on payments, whether it's bankruptcy, whether they've canceled the orders or they do not simply want to pay you. And when I'm talking about international buyers not paying you, that doesn't only mean products. I'm talking about even your service fee. Just a month before, we are able to recover a service fee for buying agent from a buyer who started working with the buying agent and then stopped in between, but did not pay the last bill, last service fee invoice, and again continue to work with the same exporter. It took us probably 1.5 years, but he got 90% of his service fees back, and today is actually in his account. So for all these things, cargo damage or payment defaults, FBA is there for you. Now let me define you what cargo damages are basically, which are not addressed. The bigger ones, they have a lot of the exporters would have their legal fraternity to help them, in-house legal team to enhance that. But I would say below 10,000 and a sweet spot of $20,000, it is somewhere, it is very, very hard for an international lawyer to be hired to do that part. It is very tedious process which you have to go through. Even if you're into claiming your insurance, then also you just get peanuts. Hence, that is where the shipping lines take advantage of you. The carriers take advantage of you. That ultimately they will just fizzle out. They are all business owners. They are busy in their productions. Somewhere the buyer will be eating this loss, or the seller will eat this loss. Or sometimes even the buying agent also, they also pitch in with their service fee. And that is how this loss is eventually absorbed. So when we say who eventually absorbs the cargo damage, we have certain freight forwarders who are dealing with various different shipments. They do take their own insurances as well. Sometimes you will not be able to also find out whether my freight forwarder has paid this money or a carrier has paid this money. But eventually what is happening is freight forwarder is paying the money from their insurance. They have an insurance cover done on their cargo management, which they're doing for their customers. And to just retain the customer and not make something as a wrong relationship with shipping lines, they activate their insurance and pay you the money, which is, again, I would say is a damage. Who eventually has to pay? A carrier. But who's paying? Maybe by insurance company of the freight forwarder. What and when insurance company play a role? So when we talk about insurance companies, they also have a business to take care. So when you are coming to them, putting up a claim, whether the freight forwarder is going or you are going, if you have taken insurance or a buyer has taken insurance, first of all, they have very high deductibles. So when you are going to them, you are primarily losing a lot of money into deductibles only. And then when you are doing this part as a customer, and we all understand insurance companies have a risk factor or a credit limit or credit report attached to you. So next time when you take an insurance from them, your premium is going high. So eventually who is paying? The customer is paying for that, because insurance companies have to have that money recovered from anywhere. And that is where we say, do not use insurance before we take care of you, before we take care of that the money is now paid by the shipping line or a carrier. Once you have the maximum money paid by the shipping line or a carrier, then you should go and consult your insurance company or what other thing can be recovered by the insurance company as a whole, if you have an insurance. This is the second word. I would say today we have 8 cases with us in the last 2 months. When we started this daily webinars at Federation, we started talking to the factories and we started sending out emails to everyone that if you have a cancelled order, if you have a payment which is not paid by the customer, if they are defaulting, even if they're filing bankruptcies, please do not think that your money is gone. There is a way around. There is a light after the dark tunnel, and that is where our lawyers in those different countries are working on it. Nothing is to be paid by you before you get paid whatever you are the money which is due to you, and that is the uniqueness of the product. That if you are here, we're not talking about paying an upfront charge to a US or a European lawyer for an hour of the session. Many times people have seen even 35, 50,000 rupees just paid to discuss the issue, which is again coming complimentary to you. We just need your documents, we just need your case history, emails exchanged or whatever you did. And at the federation level, we have a team of buying agents who would be actually verifying the entire process. And then it is handed over to a legal team, which is depending on which country the claim has to be there, which country the buyer is there, and how do we recover that part. There are certain times when buyers have filed bankruptcies. There is a process which most of us doesn't know. We just are told by the customer or by the news, oh, this buyer has filed bankruptcy. There are various layers to the bankruptcy. It is not a 24-hour job. It is not an overnight job that today I'm shutting my shop and that's it. There are certain times when you can actually put your door inside before they can say, oh, we don't owe you anything. You can go and talk to the new customer or the buyer, or you talk to the court who has now taken over the company. And that is where I'm saying all our legal teams are very expert in handling bankrupt companies or companies who are going to bankruptcy. When we're talking about big companies, it's big money as well. We currently have a case where almost $500,000 of goods have been already sold to them, and Chapter 11 is filed by the company, but not Chapter 7. So I'm telling you, all these processes will take time, but the speed is the key for you. Do not stop back. Do not hold you back. That let me think of that part, or let me think of this thing. Let me talk to 5 different people. You are just losing your time and you will lose your money. The last thing I would say is most today only we could resolve something which was very, very urgent for a customer. He's from our EPCH only as a member. He reached out to us that I have 2 containers left at the port in Mumbai, and the customer is saying now you have to take it back and repackage it and send it back to me, and they will not pay anything to me to do that part. Instead, there is a $3,500 of demurrage charges given by the container company. Now, all in all, I'm looking at a loss of almost like 6 to 7 lakh rupees if I'm just bringing that good back to my factory, repacking it, and then taking it back. We immediately got into it. There was a leading buying agent who was involved into it. As soon as they saw that now we are talking about legal things, now we are talking about raising something on a legal platform, they immediately raised 2 new POs to the factory. Okay, let us recover you the damages. We're giving you 2 new POs, and also we are going to talk to the container lines that they will not charge you this money. The entire loss, I would say, and the new order, and he just called me an hour back and he said, now I have orders worth 10 lakhs and my total cost of the loss to me would be roughly around 70,000 rupees. Now, as an exporter, you would be also understanding that only resolving the issue by having somebody standing against them created this room, created an opportunity of having more orders. In 10 lakh order, you are getting a 70,000 if you are is a loss to you. I would say at this hour, support your customer, take back the goods, repackage it, send it. This is not a very big cost. But the idea of giving the example is there are solutions available when we are having the right conversation with the right people. So these are what we do to get this cargo damages or all the payment recoveries. We have global network of highly specialized lawyers. They are from the maritime, or they are from merger and acquisition or bankruptcy area. They are experts into leveraging the situation, understand the situation. And primarily the first thing they have asked us is, if you are delaying something, don't do it. Again, I'll come back to the same exporter. He was thinking of having to wait, and I said, don't wait, at least start negotiating, start giving us the opportunity of looking at your documents. And the moment They were sent to us, and the buying agency was also told. They got active and they said, oh, he's going the other way, let us bring him back to the room. So speed is a key. I would say again and again, I would say all our lawyers say speed is a key. Do not stop back. Do not be judgmental in your own thing. You are not looking at a legal thing. You are just looking at it from the exporters or a business angle. We use a technology to automate claim submissions and stress-free follow-up process. We are not asking you to do a lot of documentation or a lot of question answers. All we need is a packing list, invoice if it is a cargo damage, a shipping bill copy, a survey report if you have or the buyer has provided you, and a letter of agreement, a submission that yes, you can go ahead and talk to the shipping line as our representative. Or in the terms of, again, with the payment issue, again, the same thing. Very least of the document we need. We do not want, yes, of course, all the facts of the cases. We don't hide any case, because just like doctors, if you hide something, you will not get the right medicine. The biggest benefit of we doing this service is that we are no win, no pay basis. We do not charge you anything for this upfront. Whatever we can recover, which is 60 to 80%, which we have so far been doing it, we charge you a certain percent on that, depending upon how much is how much the order was, or how much the damage was done. It is something which is a revenue sharing basis when you are not hiring a legal lawyer, but yes, these lawyers are going to be charging something when they are successful in getting your money back. So only if we are successful in getting compensation back, we charge our service fee. We have certain current cases. Just an example to give you, overseas customer did not pay service fee. I already told you that service fee last week has been credited to the buying agency's bank because we had the recovery people at the door of the buyer. It was a European customer. Orders got cancelled by the buyers. Goods either lying at factory or at local port. Still, again, this is a problem because the whole money is now stuck. Exporters forced to submit documents. A very unique case has come in to us. It is 6 or 7 months back that there were some disputes, and they forced him to submit documents with the undertaking. Even a credit note was asked to be signed by the factory that they will not claim any damages. They will not go after us for losses. But I was also not hopeful of the case. As I said, I'm also a businessman, just like you. So I thought, oh, since you have signed up a credit note, that doesn't mean that you can go. Now there's no strength in your case. But my lawyer came back to me and said, no, if they have mentioned that and now they can say that this was also by force, we still can go after them. So do not think of any cases as judgmental to be in the legal angle. And somewhere the customers, when they want to do it, they get very smart. But again, justice is justice, law is law. Somewhere there is a provision for you to be addressed by that legal fraternity. As I said, buyers have filed bankruptcy. We are talking about a very major retailer in US who has filed bankruptcy. We have 2 cases from them. There are certain MSME buyers who have filed Chapter 11 or just closed their shop, but they are operating by a different name. So the last part I will say, there are certain customers who will be just changing a name. It's very easy for them in their own countries. The laws are very flexible in business that they can file a bankruptcy and they can come back to they have actually come back to India and buying from the same factories under a different name. Very strange. And they had a buying agent before. They have a new buying agent also with them. So these are the cases where we are addressing the problem that ultimately who was at fault. The goods, the last default of payment was in the tune of $400,000. Now that money was the money of India. That forex, that dollars were belonging to exporters and a buying agent. Now this buyer has the audacity to come back with a different name, had the audacity to now also hire a new buying agent and working with some new factories and some old factories. So certain things we are already also working on that pattern. How do we stop that thing? It is a complete misuse of the law and not addressing the problem. And the last is buyer could not establish genuine claims. We have one case here where buyer simply said that goods are damaged and goods are not good quality. I'll not pay. They had a credit term. He could not send only just one picture, and for 6 containers, I would say, doesn't justify that only one picture out of the 6 containers you have, and you say that I've disposed of the containers also. I've just trashed them, and I am now not paying anything. So these are certain things which a customer is doing when they think that, oh, I can get away with this, but not anymore. I can tell you, we are here as federation to help you out in this, and that's it. So I am open to now questions. Stop the screen sharing. I hope it was good, Mridu.
Thank you, Mr. Parashar, yeah, apprising us of so many factors. Well, the Federation of Buying Agents has been safeguarding the interests of our manufacturers and of our exporters, and it's been providing plethora of services. We have, I think, only one question here, but till the time we wait for more questions to pour in, I would request Mr. R.K. Malhotra, Vice Chairman of EPCH, to share his thoughts about this presentation with us.
Thank you very much. Lokesh ji, it was very good presentation, and I think it's a need of the hour. जो भी आपने जो प्रॉब्लम दिखाई हैं, बताई हैं, ऑर्डर कैंसिलेशन है, कार्गो डैमेज है, शिपमेंट वहाँ पड़ी हुई है, बायर पेमेंट नहीं करता, ये सब चीजें आज के टाइम की हैं और इज अ राइट सब्जेक्ट एंड राइट टॉपिक जो इसको आज हम डिस्कस करते हैं. मेरा एक क्वेश्चन ये था कि जो बायर पेमेंट नहीं करता ना, उसके लिए पहले भी एक कंपनी ने कॉन्टेक्ट करा था. मेरा कोई अच्छा उसका एक्सपीरियंस, डेट कलेक्टर जो होते हैं, कोई अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं रहा. उन्होंने 1 साल का एग्रीमेंट कर लिया कि 1 साल तक हम आपको ये पेमेंट करवाएंगे तो उसकी हम कमीशन ले लेंगे, जो भी ठीक था. 1 साल उनके साथ यही उनसे कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस होती रही कि हम उनसे पूछे क्या करा है, वो कहता हमने मेल डाल दी. बाहर कहता मैं पे नहीं कर सकता, मेरा पैसा नहीं है. हमने कहा ये तो हम भी कर रहे थे, आपने क्या करा? वो कह रहे हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, हम तो सिर्फ मेल ही डाल सकते हैं. अगर बायर ने ये जो कंपनी ने, जैसे आप कह रहे हैं आपकी कंपनी है, अगर आपने लॉयर की फीस अलग लेनी है, आप तो कह रहे हो ना, यही बात है, एम आई राइट?
तो लॉयर की फीस तब लेनी है जब वो पैसा लेके आएगा वहां से. अच्छा,
नहीं, अगर बायर को कोई नोटिस देना है तो उसके अलग चार्जेस हैं?
नहीं सर, कोई चार्जेस नहीं देने आपने.
ओके. और
0 चार्ज है सर आपको.
उसके ऊपर केस फाइल करते हैं तो अलग उसके लिए चार्ज करेंगे आप?
नहीं सर, उसके लिए भी नहीं है.
मैं आपके लिए बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं तो जनरल मेरे को जो एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है मैं उसकी बात कर रहा हूँ. तो 1 साल वो स्वाय वो जैसे होता ना, गेम खेलते रहे, मेल डाली बायर ने मना कर दिया, फिर मेल डाली बायर ने मना कर दिया. उनका वो कहता हमारा सिस्टम यही है, तो मेल डालेंगे, अगर केस करना है तो आप हमारे को उसके अलग से इतने 5,000 10,000 जो भी है, तो इतना अमाउंट हैंडीक्राफ्ट इंडस्ट्री में नहीं होता कि किसी को फीस के लिए, एक वकील के लिए, उसके लिए दे. तो अगर आपका ये सिस्टम है कि मेन देखो इश्यू आएगा आपका बायर के जो पेमेंट डिफॉल्टर है, ज्यादा हर एक का ये होता ही है, उसके अंदर कोई ट्रांसपेरेंट आपका है? आई डोंट नो, मतलब कि अभी मैंने ज्यादा इसके ऊपर आपसे हमारी डिस्कशन नहीं हुई. ट्रांसपेरेंट सिस्टम है जिसके अंदर आप चाहे केस करें चाहे कुछ भी करें, क्योंकि आप ये एग्रीमेंट तो करवाएंगे ही कोई ना कहीं कि जब तक आप कर रहे हैं, अगर हमारे को पेमेंट कोई आ जाती है इन दैट टाइम, तो आप उसके अंदर कमीशन लोगे ही लोगे, चाहे वो कैसे ही आए.
बिल्कुल सर, जैसे भी आए.
अच्छा, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ये है कि जब डिस्प्यूट स्टार्ट होता है ना, तो एक्सपोर्टर अपने तरफ से और या बायर से नेगोशिएट करके 50% ऐसे केसेस होते हैं कि खुद सॉल्व कर लेता है. 50%.
बिल्कुल सर, मैंने एग्जांपल दिया ना आपको, आज जैसे आज सुबह ही उनका फोन आया, रिजॉल्व हो गई, बात खत्म हो गई.
अगर उसके अंदर ऐसा है, आप जैसी कोई भी कंपनी अगर उसके अंदर बीच में इन्वॉल्व है, 50% तो उसको तो वो अपने आप ही सॉल्व हो गया. मतलब एक्चुअली उसको तो पेमेंट करनी पड़ेगी, जो भी सेट है कमीशन के देना ही देना है. तो बाकी 50% अगर वो नहीं आते पेमेंट, तो उसके ऊपर केस तो आप लोग फाइल नहीं करते, और केस करने के लिए फिर आप पैसे लेते हैं.
इसलिए हमारे अंदर ये डिफरेंस है.
नहीं, मैं ठीक समझा, ऐसे ही है कि कोई इसमें कोई बेटर ऑप्शन है?
सर देखिए, इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि अभी वो सर्विस, वो कंपनी मुझे ही मालूम है, ईपीसीएच में हमारे पास वही ऑफर आया था, मैंने ये अपना ही केस दिया था उनको, और वो कुछ नहीं कर पाया इसके अंदर. तो आप जहाँ मुझे बताना चाह रहे हैं, मैं समझ रहा हूँ उसको. वो वी आर नॉट रिकवरी पीपल एक्चुअली. हमने लॉयर्स को हायर किया हुआ है.
मतलब मेरी प्रॉब्लम जो मैंने बताया सही बताया ना?
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही बताया आपने. वो कुछ नहीं करेंगे, उन्होंने जो किया वो उतना ही कर सकते हैं कि बस लेटर डाल दिया, कुछ कर. मैंने तो बहुत टाइम तक उनसे फॉलो अप करता रहा. मैं उनकी इंडिया में भी टीम बैठी हुई है, लेकिन
उन्होंने उसमें लाखों डॉलर कमा लिया है।
सो लेट मी, मैं आपको बताता हूँ सर हम क्या करते हैं। राजेश जी एक मिनट सर, क्योंकि हमने फेडरेशन की लेवल पे इसको सोल्यूशन लिया है, तो पहले इसलिए हमने कहा कि बाइंग एजेंट इस केस को देखता है। और जैसे मैंने आपको आज का एग्जांपल दिया, हमने लेटर ऑफ एग्रीमेंट साइन भी नहीं करवाया। मैंने कहा आपका पहले केस बताओ क्या है। आपका केस अगर ये है कि आपका माल वहां पड़ा है, पोर्ट पे रखा हुआ है, डैमरेज पड़ रहा है, बायर कहता है मुझे सामान वापस लेके रीपैकेज दे दो, और आपके साथ एक बाइंग एजेंट भी इन्वॉल्व है, तो आप पहले सिर्फ उनको इतना बताओ कि भैया मेरा ये लॉस होगा, ये कौन बेयर करेगा। और वो सारी बातचीत में, इसमें हमने कोई एंगेजमेंट नहीं की, ना हम सामने आए, ना हमने किसी बायर से बात की, ना किसी बाइंग एजेंट से। हमने सिर्फ एक्सपोर्टर को गाइडेंस दे दी कि भैया इस केस को ऐसे सॉल्व कर लो। हाँ, अब आप कोई 70,000 रुपए भी चुभ रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली यू कैन ऑलवेज कम बैक। मैं नहीं समझता 70,000 रुपए के लिए आप 10 लाख के ऑर्डर पे,
अगर 10 लाख के पीछे उनका 2 लाख भी लग जाए तो भी
तो
एक्सपोर्टर
भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है
आने वाली, वो तो बिल्कुल बात ठीक है। दूसरा एक हमारा 2013 का केस था, जो कॉनकोर इसमें दिल्ली में आग लगी थी, तो उसके अंदर आज तक वो सेटल नहीं हुआ। कॉनकोर वालों ने किसी को एक पैसा नहीं दिया। उन्होंने कहा था हम तो सिर्फ 50 रुपए किलो देंगे आपको, चाहे आपका सोना है, चांदी है, पीतल है, कुछ भी है, 50 रुपए किलो। तो वो भी अभी तक हमारा कोर्ट में चल रहा है, उसकी भी कोई सेटलमेंट नहीं हो रही, क्योंकि ये जो डैमेज है, ये क्लेम है, ये इतनी आसानी से मिलते नहीं है। आप जैसे लोगों की जरूरत है जिनको इसकी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, पर इसमें थोड़ा सा मैं समझता हूँ कि और ट्रांसपेरेंसी होनी चाहिए, और इसके अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस ये होना चाहिए कि आप लोग बीच में आके अगर आपने कुछ मेहनत करी है, उसके ऊपर कुछ काम करा, डेफिनेटली, और कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि जो पे ना करे, वो जरूर करेगा। पर अगर खाली एग्रीमेंट करा के वो वेट करा कि पैसे कैसे भी आ जाएं, हम तो कमीशन ले ही लेंगे, जो उस कंपनी
नहीं सर, मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं सर।
तो उसके लिए मेरे ख्याल में अच्छा आपने जो भी प्रेजेंटेशन दी है, इट्स वेरी अट्रैक्टिव। पर ये बड़ी उसमें इतनी ज्यादा डिटेल डिस्कशन नहीं हम इस टाइम में, इस छोटे टाइम में कर सकते।
बिल्कुल ठीक है,
बैठ के आपसे बात करेंगे, ईपीसीएच के साथ बैठ के बात करेंगे, तो हम अपने एक्सपोर्टर मिल के इसको देखेंगे कैसे आप लोगों से, आपकी नॉलेज से फायदा उठाया जा सकता है। ठीक है,
मैं छोटा एग्जांपल देता हूं आपको हमने कैसे किया। एक केस में डिफॉल्ट था बायर का, और क्योंकि हम लोग मंथली मीटिंग करते थे, तो हमने एक्चुअली एक बार जज साहब को बुलाया, अपने एक्स जज से। हमने कहा ये जो छोटे छोटे हमारे जो 5,000 जो कमीशन कितनी होती है सर, जो सर्विस फी हम पे करते हैं, कोई 5 होगी, कोई 7 होगी, 10 होगी, 20 होगी, ज्यादा। तो बुलाया तो हमने उसी काम के लिए कि सर्विस फी जब नहीं बायर पे करेगा तो हम ये छोटे छोटे क्लेमों को कहाँ लेके जाएंगे। तो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा आइडिया हमें को दिया था कि आप अपनी कंट्री में ही पहले इसको एड्रेस करो। अगर आप डिक्री ले लेते हो किसी अपनी कोर्ट से, और जो मोस्ट लाइकली एक्स पार्टी हो जाती है, छोटे छोटे क्लेम के लिए बायर भी नहीं पहुंचता है, देन यू हैव अ बेटर मैनेजमेंट टू डू। हमने वो रास्ता अपनाया।
मैं 1 मिनट यहाँ बीच में आपको रोक रहा हूँ। अगर कोई मान लो अमेरिका, यूरोप, कहीं का ही बायर है, तो हम इंडिया में उसके अगेंस्ट कुछ कर सकते हैं
सर? केस टू केस बेसिस देखना पड़ेगा सर।
अच्छा, ऐसे भी ऑप्शंस हैं?
बिल्कुल ऑप्शन है सर, 100% ऑप्शन
है। कि हम इसको बैठ के बात करके कुछ अपनी इंडस्ट्री के लिए, क्योंकि ये एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट, सेंसिटिव और ऐसी चीज है जो हर एक्सपोर्टर को ही चाहिए।
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल। हमने ये इसलिए टॉपिक रखा कि हमने ईपीसीएच के आगे हमने बात करनी है, तो चलो हम इसी पे बात करेंगे, क्योंकि बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है आपके लिए।
पर इसके लिए हम अपने बोर्ड में बैठ के बात करेंगे, मैं डिस्कस करूंगा, वर्मा से डिस्कस करूंगा, तो हम बैठ के आपसे डिस्कस करेंगे कि जो पीछे जो हुआ है उसके अंदर कुछ ऐसी चीजें आई जिसके अंदर ऐसा नहीं कि उन्होंने कुछ नहीं करा होगा, उन्होंने भी अपने हिसाब से करा होगा, पर कोई ऐसा मेरे को, मैं पर्सनली, मैं बाकी की बात नहीं, हो सकता है दूसरे क्लाइंट को अच्छा भी लगा हो, मेरे को पर्सनली वो सिस्टम उनका अपील नहीं करा।
मुझे भी नहीं समझ में आया सर वो सिस्टम उन्होंने जो किया था। हमने तो बल्कि 1,000 केस के लिए भी उनको बोला था कि चलो कुछ भी हम फीस नहीं चार्ज कर रहे, आप 1,000 केस तो लो हमारे से।
हाँ,
मेरा भी केस किया था सर।
आप इसका मतलब आपको सारा मालूम है इस बारे में?
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल है।
ठीक है जी, राजेश जी प्लीज, आप
राजेश जी,
मेरा ये जनरल से डिस्कस कर ली और हम इसको आगे ले जाएंगे। आप इसको प्लीज टेक ओवर द चार्ज नाउ।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर थॉट्स ऑन द सब्जेक्ट. May I ask Mridu ji to continue? We have 3 more panelists to speak on.
Thank you.
the subject.
Thank you, Mr. Malhotra. Thank you, Mr. Malhotra, for raising this very important point with Mr. Parashar. We have Mr. Vineet Bhatia also here. He's president of IFJAS. So if you would like to raise some point.
Thank you, Lokesh ji. I know all the biggies are there. Malhotra ji ने भी काफी अच्छा interact किया. Lokesh ji, I'm very happy to know that आपकी ऐसी agency है जिसके through हम we can interact and find out, because the biggest scare now all exporters have in this COVID is like सब आपने बताया, everybody is filing Chapter 11 and they're opening a subsequent new company and coming out in open में they are doing business. So we as buyers, we are always like jewelry वाले जो हैं, we are like the amounts are not very big, but again we are so scared कि अगर हम buyers को ज़्यादा भी बोलते हैं यार पैसे दे तो वो पहले ही बोलता है जी मेरे पास अभी नहीं है, मैं नहीं दे रहा, मैं तो Chapter 11 कर रहा हूँ. So वो एक vulnerability हमारे exporters में बनी रहती है और हमारे को पास कोई भी नहीं होता किसके जाए. Obviously EPCH is always there, हम उनको contact करते हैं and they help us कि उसको blacklist करें, buyer को कैसे करें. बट आई एम श्योर आपकी जो आपने बताया आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, और हम मल्होत्रा जी ने बड़ी अच्छी बात करी कि हम इसको बैठ के आगे वी कैन टेक फॉरवर्ड.
बिल्कुल सर,
दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्केयर ऑफ एक्सपोर्टर आज की डेट में पोस्ट कोविड कि मेरी पेमेंट कैसे आएगी. आप
बिल्कुल,
अब मेरे जैसे हमारे स्मॉल एक्सपोर्टर्स, हम तो एडवांस पे काम करते हैं हमेशा, और मैं आगे भी सजेस्ट करता हूं कि आप एडवांस लीजिए सब एक्सपोर्टर्स को. बट जो इंडस्ट्री ट्रेंड है व्हिच सेज
हाँ सर, इंडस्ट्री ट्रेंड है, क्रेडिट देने का है,
क्रेडिट पे आ गया 120 डेज वो डेज. तो many exporters, you know, they fall into that prey, नहीं सर बिजनेस तो करना है तो उधार तो देना पड़ेगा.
बिल्कुल,
rightly said. But again we don't have a backup for that कि हमने माल भी भेजा.
तो सर एक तलवार अपने हाथ में रखो, आपको तलवार दे दी हमने एक.
नहीं बिल्कुल सर. So like मल्होत्रा जी है, उनको एड्रेस करेंगे and we will follow उनके साथ जैसे भी है. Thank you so much Lokesh ji for addressing.
Thank you.
We look forward to further discussion in this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vineet ji. May I now ask Nupur to please, if she wants any answer, if she has any query.
Lokesh ji, on this platform, I think Malhotra sir उसी को refer कर रहे हैं. There was a nice talk of ECGC. Sir, आप उसी की बात कर रहे हो ना?
नहीं ECGC नहीं है, कोई और कंपनी थी मैम, वो यूरोपियन कंपनी थी.
अच्छा, okay. So anyway, so I as somebody who's new and I just started looking into my own business forwarding. ECGC की भी talk थी, but on a personal level, I do not know about the other panelists and other attendees of the talk. Your talk was quite convincing, and of course I would like to through EPCH get in touch because there is more clarity. And last time भी मल्होत्रा sir ने काफी questions उस panel पे भी पूछे थे, and to which I was actually echoing with Mr. Malhotra's questions also. But apart for in my mind, the buying agents were only like, you get me orders and I'll give you a little bit of 2, 5, 7, 10%. But I didn't know that you guys can promise us the surety of my stuck payments also.
Yes.
That's something new I've learned on this platform.
तो नुपुर जी, हुआ ऐसा था कि हमने किया तो था हमारे मेंबर्स के लिए कि ये बाइंग एजेंसी की सर्विस फी जो नहीं देता बायर और फिर से वो काम करना शुरू कर देता है, तो हम किसी को रोक सकते नहीं है. अल्टीमेटली धंधा तो इंडिया में आना है, तो इंडस्ट्री में हम किसी एक्सपोर्टर को नहीं रोक सकते. वो करते करते हम लोगों ने वी कुड फाइंड आउट कि देयर इज अ वे अराउंड, एंड व्हाई डोंट वी ओपन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर इवन आवर फ्रेंड्स. एंड ये अभी न्यू वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर में तो इतनी प्रॉब्लम आने वाली है, तो हम अकेले अपने के लिए क्यों करेंगे? अल्टीमेटली देखिए पैसा तो हिंदुस्तान का है ना.
ट्रू. एंड
आपका है, मेरा है.
1 पॉइंट आई थिंक एक ये भी चीज अच्छी है कि 1 पॉइंट कॉन्टैक्ट से आप सर्विसेज ज्यादा दे रहे हो. आप ऑर्डर भी लेके आ सकते हो and we can approach you for our banking.
And we understand the whole supply chain.
I think that's a good connect you are doing. आप compact कर रहे हो काम को. I think nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nupur. Yeah, of course, you know, along with creating new markets and new opportunities, if there's one point source for, you know, solving other problems also, then it serves the purpose of all the manufacturers and exporters. Rightly put, Nupur. Thank you so much. And Mr. Anshul Gola is here. He is also Vice President IFJAS. So if you have any point to raise.
Thank you, Mr. Lokesh, on your detailed coverage of the issue. We also face the same issues, be it deadlines, payment delays, lost goods. But the session was very informative for us, being a very young organization, and I was here to understand what FBA brings and adds in to resolve the challenges that we face. So the next time, whenever, I won't be thinking twice taking any help of FBA services in the future.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Padasha, we have a few questions here. If you can just go through them and see which
Where
question.
do I see the chat?
There's a Q&A window.
Yeah, Hemant has said, I would recommend exporters to contact. Yes. Mr. Lokesh Parashar, please give me your email address to contact you. Yes, I will send it back. Asad, I think.
So there's one question, sir. There's one question by Mr. Ahmed where he's asking for claim who has to be informed first, FBA or ECGC?
So when you are saying claim, ECGC is actually not, don't come in the picture in the beginning. So you should be first informing FBA. And as I said, we are responsible organization. It's a non-for-profit organization it's a federation. So any opinion given by us will be looking at your benefit and looking at what the legality is. If SCGC has to be informed, we'll tell you to first engage ECGC. So I would say yes to you should come first to FBA.
And I can see one compliment also given to you, says that wonderful person / company to work with. We made 3 recoveries through them only on commission basis. So that's by Mr. Hemant Sachdev.
Thank you.
So I think it's about time to wind up this session. And I would like to thank Mr. Lokesh Parashar for sparing his time and for informing us about the role played by FBA and other buying agents. We would also thank Mr. Malhotra, President IFJAS, Vice President IFJAS, both of them, and Mr. Rawat. And thank you all the attendees, all the participants for joining in for this webinar. Tomorrow again, we will have a webinar on other topics, of course, and please do join in. Thank you.
So Ajay Abrol has already mentioned, ma'am, in the chat, the webinar attendees can save the chat, the Federation email address and phone number and the website. Ajay is the Secretary General also, and all the content information is already given in the chat box.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
sir.
all
Thank you
once
so
again
much.
on behalf of EPCH. Bye-bye. Bye.